Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another video. It's Smile, you're on TV, and that is my best one for today. Right, today we're looking at these beautiful creatures. It is the BMW GS R1250 exclusive and the brand spanking new, just out of the box, I'm having to tell you, the HP Rallye version of the same bike. This one's from 2020 and this one's from 2019. And what we're going to do is have a look at the two different types of bikes and see what the differences are and see what your money's going to buy you. Right, the first bike to get into is this one. This is brand spanking new. It's a 20 plate. I say it's brand spanking new. It's probably just gone over to 70, so at the time you're watching. So apologies for that, but it is brand spanking new. It's done something in the region of about 500 miles now, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere on a Sunday morning in the village of Westbury, which is, I believe, in Buckinghamshire. And what we're going to do is going to have a quick look around this. Now, as I said, it's the HP version. I've got Ivor behind the camera, so every now and again I'm going to ask him a few questions. And all we want to do is find out a little bit about the bike. So, hashtag this was a deal because it was in stock, so the bike came out at a reasonable price. So let's get into it. Let's have a quick look around. So this one's the Rallye version. It is, you can tell obviously by the colours give it away, but the difference between this particular one, as I said, part of the deal was the seat. So you can normally get a Rallye seat with this, or you can have this seat, but if you want the Rallye seat and this, it's about 300 quid different, so whatever you're going to do with that. So getting in particular, the bits that stick out for this particular bike are the gold wheels and the spokes. And what BMW do, which I really love, apart from this, obviously these are tubeless tyres. If you don't know these bikes at all, the way the spoke configuration is they come out of the side rather than going into the tyres, which basically means that you don't have to have an inner tube in there, which is really good. The other thing with these bikes, which is standard with the GS and the GS exclusive, is the little mud guard stops the mud from being thrown up everywhere, especially out the back. And this bike has been fitted with an accessory, as has the exclusive, with an extra little bit of protection which goes down and protects the spring. The spring comes standard with some protection at the back there, but this has been added with a bit of extra, which I'm not sure, where did you get that from, Ivor? This bit? eBay, wasn't it? Yeah, just eBay, which we'll try and throw up a link in the description below. Obviously, whilst we're here and you're looking at the video, if you like it, please use the like button, and the comments are really important. I engage with everybody on the channel, so it'd be good if you just want to throw out some questions, maybe about this bike or the other bike or whatever, but we'll do our best to answer you. But the important thing is smashing the like button and hitting the subscribe button and keeping up with what we are doing. Right, the other thing that this bike comes with, being a Rallye version, are these little protectors that protect the frame. On the exclusive, when we get to look around that, you'll notice that that is not there. Also, the Enduro pegs. These Enduro pegs, I have to say, if you want to buy these from, say, Touratech, they're going to cost you about £117. And I know that because I've just bought some. And I have to say, you do feel quite planted on these, whereas with the normal GS exclusive, you've got the rubber pad and it's very, the standing up is a little bit more difficult. The engine bars on this particular bike are an extra, as they are on the exclusive, so it doesn't come standard. Engine bars only come standard on the GSA, which is a bit of a pain. Can't think off the top of my head how much they are. I'm sure that if you're listening, you can comment and just show those comments to everybody and tell them how much they are. All these pads and bits and pieces come as standard and they clip on underneath there, which is different if you buy a Triumph or a Triumph Explorer or a Triumph Tiger. You have to buy the pad yourself. The other accessories that have been put on this is the quad lock. Love a good quad lock. I think it's absolutely amazing bit of kit. Very simple design, but that's mostly, I would say, worth having. The Nav 6 is an additional extra. These little bits on top here, these little guards, also from eBay, I don't think they were particularly expensive, but they're a good little addition to go on these. Personally, I would have to say, if you're going to take this bike off-road, then buy the ones from Barkbusters, because the ones from Barkbusters are, well, these are just going to smash as soon as they hit the floor. I would suspect the ones from Barkbusters are meant for you to be able to take this bike off-road. All the GSs in the UK come with LED indicators. This one is not an exception. They've got LED indicators. And as I said, this is a 2020 with about 700 miles on. When we get into the exclusive, we'll be able to show you that some of these have a bit of a warranty claim that they need to be done. Other extras. This has been added just a bit of protection because, as I said in one of the videos before, this thing here is around about 700 of our English pounds, which is really expensive. Thank you, BMW. There's only 4 screws to put a new shield on there, but you can't get it. I do believe there's a Chinese alternative to this, which will work with this bike, that you can get from eBay or whatever, which is actually quite a nice design. So if you do smash that up and you want something a little bit cheaper, then it is possible to get that. This on my bike was an extra. Was it an extra on yours? No, this came with it too on the particular Rallye version, and I think this shapes the front end really, really nice. The other big differences between the Rallye HP and the exclusive are the tyres that it comes on. These are obviously a little bit more off-road bias. These are the Anki Adventure tyres. They're made by Michelin. The front is 120/70 R19 and the rear is oh, I'm sure there's people out there who already know it. I can't see it. It's 170/60 R17. So there you go. Brilliant. I really like the HP. I think the styling is good. I nearly bought the HP, but decided against it because I don't really know. And one of the other things I wanted to point out about this particular bike is this comes with the standard exhaust, and I've just realised how hot it is. This one's the standard exhaust, and that one had the exclusive, the HP silencer on it, as they call it. That's the Akrapovic. And as I said in the previous video, that is an £875 edition. It's a lot of money. It's a nice exhaust and it looks good, but I wouldn't waste your money, if I'm honest. Yes, it looks good, but yeah, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. So getting into the exclusive, the thing that I wanted to say about this bike is in comparison with the one that you've just seen on the video is that one has done no more than around about 650 miles. It's going in for its very first service soon, and this has been and had its first service and is now around about or coming up to 18 months old. So there are a few differences obviously with the bike in relation to it's the exclusive. The paint is different, the wheels are different, and that's the biggest difference between the two bikes. It's the wheels with the spokes on that one and the standard steel wheels. And naively, I think the reason that I went for the standard wheels on this bike is because I'd had bikes with steel wheels, with wire wheels before, and I felt that they were noisy because especially through the tunnel of the bike. So there's a lot of road noise generated from the tyres, and I kind of felt that the bikes that I'd had with the steel wheels, with the steel wire wheels, were throwing up more noise through the tunnel, which actually was a little bit annoying. So going on to these, when this bike first came out of the factory, this came out with the Bridgestone tyres, I believe, and I found that they were quite noisy and changed them quite quickly to the Michelin Pilot Road 5s. So the Pilot Road 5s have been a pretty good tyre. They have stuck to the road really well, but I'm still getting that noise, and I just think it's a feature of most bikes, and if manufacturers could actually quieten down the noise that came up through the tunnel, I think that would be good for all of our tinnitus. I don't hear it so much now because of the squealing that's going on, but there we go. So a message out to all the youngers out there: wear ear protection. It's a good thing. Right, let's get into this one, have a quick look round, not to mess you around for a little bit too long, for much longer. This one's got the Akrapovic exhaust, it's the standard wheels, that's the difference. It's the same engine, it's the R1250, exactly the same CC, but looking around it in a little bit more detail, you can see the age, I think, on the bikes. They wear and weather fairly well, and I haven't really used this one off-road too much, but you know, you've got few marks on there where you've sat against it. Some of the plastic's a little bit shined off where your leg's gone against it. Of course it will be. You know, nothing. You could warm this up a little bit, I think, with like a hot air gun or something would probably bring some of the colour back. But you know, ultimately it gets washed. Inside here you find where water has gone and then boiled away. It's a little bit limey, and I've got plans to obviously get that all cleaned out. So if you're somebody who cleans bikes and you've got kind of idea, give us an idea please in the comments of how to clean that. And in fact, at any point during any of these videos, if you guys have got comments or whatever, then please let us know. The cool covers that I've fitted to this, that I got from a show, have been on tour with us. They're really, really good, very, very comfortable, and do allow some air through, so they make a difference. Although obviously they're going to raise you off the floor a little bit for short bottom people like myself. The other extras that we put on this were the Denali D7 lights. They came from a guy called Steve Abel, who runs a website called A Bike Thing. Steve ships these all over the world and a lot of stuff, so it's worth going to his site if you want to buy these things. He does Denali bundles on his website, and he's got some really exciting developments that are about to come out, so that people can do some very, very special things without letting too many cats out of bags. But there you go, look out for that. And I've also bought from him, which is on its way, a skylift, so I'll be able to demonstrate the skylift in one of the videos and let you guys know what that's all about. For me, a customer. This particular bike, I suppose, is kind of in the market for some new tyres now. So again, it's the old question, what tyres do I want? So if you guys have got any idea of what tyres I should be putting on this bike, for a little bit of off-road bias, not too much. I'm not going to take it up any green lanes, because that's not the kind of bike that this is for me. It's more touring, but I would like the opportunity that if I get myself up some kind of curvy route and there's a load of mud in the middle, I am going to have the opportunity to not slip and slide all over the place like I do on these little bad boys. So the other thing I was just going to say, if we just have a quick look around here with the camera, this is the bit that I was pointing out between this one and the other bike. You can see there's a little bit of condensation in here. You kind of get it on all lights really, I suppose, but it's not really good enough, is it? I mean, the manufacturers of these ought to seal them better so that moisture's not going to get in there. And you might say, if you're a BMW service agent, you've used a pressure washer. Who doesn't use a pressure washer on their bike? And I don't use pressure, I just use enough just to get a little bit of dirt off. Just before we bugger off and leave you, and thank you for watching our video, and remind you to use the like button and do the comments and ask us questions and subscribe to the channel and all those things those lovely YouTubers ask you to do. One of the other things I wanted to do is get my mate Ivor in the video and ask him some questions, because Ivor's had 3 GS's, so he is a voice of expertise, I would like to call it. 2 1200s and this R1250. So let's just pan over to the boy, and quick question for you then. So this is your third bike, and you didn't really like the last one. You liked the first one, you didn't like the middle one, but the first one and the middle one were exactly the same. So what was going on?
Don't know really. The maybe it was coming from the first one being my first GS and being very excited to have one. I just thought it was the ultimate bike, did everything it should do. The next one wasn't quite as much fun as the first one. The first one was a 2014 1200 GS when the liquid cooled ones came out. The second one was a 1200 exclusive in 2018, and just not as exciting a bike, didn't drive as well, didn't handle as well. Whether or not it had different tyres on it, I don't know. But we didn't bond, and I didn't keep it very long. Which is quite interesting really from a motorcycle point of view, because I have to say, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people that are watching, when you get a bike you do bond with it. It is like an extension of you when you're riding it, because you rely on it so much for it to do what it does. And if it doesn't feel comfortable or it doesn't feel right, which is exactly the same experience as I had on my third Triumph Explorer, obviously the Triumph Tiger, fourth, anyway, I can't remember now. But yeah, if you don't bond with it and it doesn't really work for you, then you've got to move. But the 1250 is a different bike, completely different to the 1200. Handles better.
But is it?
It does, yeah. It's quicker, it's more responsive. It's better than the original 1200 that I had. Much better.
Is that in your head?
When you read the reviews and you listen to what everybody says, everybody is saying the same, and I'm not alone in my opinion of this. So I don't think it is in my head. I think it is a much better bike. I think it's 6 years newer. The 1250 engine is much more responsive. The electrics are much better. It's got a lot more gizmos and gadgets on than the first one had.
Yeah, all right then. Okay, so we'll believe you.
And when I'm going off-road down gullies on my way home from trips.
We'll believe you because you're on video, but I'm sure there's loads of people that are watching that actually are riding a 1200, just wondering what the 1250 is all about, that would probably argue the toss with you and say, actually, my 1200 is still a very capable bike. It still does all of the things I expect it to do, and it's amazing, and it's wonderful, and it bloody well better be, because they're so expensive.
They certainly are.
They're a lot of money.
They're a lot of money.
And they don't think they need to be, do they? What are we paying for?
Brand.
And that's it, isn't it, really?
Brand, yeah.
All right, it does its stuff. All right,
But you're also paying for the be careful. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, no, you should.
But you're also paying for the support that you get from BMW and places like that, which does seem to far exceed what you get from other people. They do seem to be more interested in you as a customer. It seems to be more the car focus when buying bikes from BMW, whereas other people are very bike focused, and people that buy bikes just buy bikes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got an idea for another video. Let's get into it. Let's try and find out a little bit more. Not for now. It's not for now because it's definitely a subject that needs discussing. Now, we are not affiliated in any way at all to that particular brand. Having ridden Triumphs and ridden Hondas and ridden Suzukis or whatever, I've had all sorts of different bikes over the years, and I have to say I do believe that the manufacturer, or rather the backup I get from a dealer on that, is brilliant. But I couldn't argue about the backup that I got from the Triumph dealership either. It's just that and the reason that came is because the Triumph went back probably more than the GS actually has done anyway. So let's get into it. Let's share, probably secretly on camera, some of the experiences that we've had in a future video about when we turn up to go to some dealers and find out what they are like. Obviously I'm not going to prejudice anybody by putting them on camera because that wouldn't be fair, but we'll give a little bit of an overview when we come out. Let's do a review of some of the dealerships. Oh my god, the industry's going to hate me. Anyway, it's Smile, you're on TV. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch it. Don't forget, hit that like button and smash the subscribe button and leave a comment, because that's what helps the old algorithms share the videos. Thank you. Say bye, Ivor.
Bye bye.